And heading into this war, there is no doubt that you've heard this many times, the president and his administration saying this is about the United States trying to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, right? Listen.
So many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. We're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
But a while ago, in a very different time, it was the United States who first introduced Iran to nuclear technology. That was more than 60 years ago. It was the United States that first gave him the Tehran research reactor back when Washington and Tehran were allies. So here's a little bit more about how we got to where we find ourselves today.
It was a decision that stunned much of the world, the United States joining Israel in a direct military strike on Iran. And shortly after those missiles began to fall, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was asked about the war's legal justification.
Let me explain to you guys this in simple English, okay? Iran is run by lunatics, religious fanatic lunatics.
Rubio said that on March 3rd, but sentiments like that go back decades. In 1951, Iran elected a man named Mohammad Mossadegh as prime minister, who eventually nationalized Iran's oil industry. At the time, Britain controlled Iran's oil wealth and saw nationalization as a direct threat.
Dr. Mossadegh, speaking in French, reiterated the Persian attitude to the oil dispute.
To ensure the UK had access to Iranian oil, British intelligence conspired with the CIA to overthrow Iran's democratically elected leader and reinstall the Shah as absolute ruler. That conspiracy long denied by the U.S. government until a striking admission in 2009.
For many years, Iran has defined itself in part by its opposition to my country. In the middle of the Cold War, the United States played a role in the overthrow of a democratically elected Iranian government.
During the Shah's return to power and authoritarian crackdown on dissent, Iran and the U.S. had a strong relationship. The U.S. even helping Iran set up its nuclear program in the 60s. But the alliance could not stop the Iranian Revolution in 1979, when street demonstrations inspired by Shiite religious leaders erupted until the government collapsed. That's when the U.S.-backed Shah fled, and a Shiite cleric known as Ayatollah Khomeini rose to power, giving birth to an Islamic republic.
Khomeini, almost unknown outside of Iran just a few months ago, returned a hero, the man who from long distance had led the revolution to topple the Shah.
Strict new rules were imposed, thousands were killed, and hundreds of thousands more fled the country. Meanwhile, the Shah was allowed by President Jimmy Carter to come to the United States for cancer treatment, which Iran's new leaders saw as the U.S. protecting an old ally. In protest of Carter's decision, hundreds of Iranian students stormed the U.S. embassy and took hostages.
The American embassy in Tehran is in the hands of Muslim students tonight.
The Iranians burned a United States flag and denounced the U.S. government, saying they would stay until the U.S. sends the deposed Shah back to Iran.
52 Americans would be held for over 444 days. Years later, that crisis remains the prism that many Americans, including those in Hollywood, have seen Iran through.
Everything.
Our embassy has been seized and more than 60 American citizens continue to be held as hostages.
If we're going to go, then we need to go now.
The Iran hostage crisis setting off more decades of hostilities between the two countries. The U.S. imposing sweeping sanctions and designating Iran as a state sponsor of terrorism. Those hostilities even seeping into American pop culture and spilling into living rooms.
Let me talk to the man who is currently the reigning World Wrestling Federation champion from Iran, the Iron Sheik.
The former Iranian soldier became one of pro wrestling's most notorious heels. Meanwhile, the geopolitical picture darkened.
Iraqi soldiers run for cover. For the first time in days, Iranians advanced to their side of the riverbank at Khorram Shah and shot across the Shatt el-Arab River.
The U.S. backing Saddam Hussein when Iraq invaded Iran in the 80s. Then in 1988, the U.S. Navy shot down an Iranian passenger jet, killing 290 people on board. Washington calling it a terrible accident, Tehran calling it a war crime. Years later, post 9/11, the rhetoric toward Iran hardened. President George W. Bush lumping it in with North Korea.
States like these and their terrorist allies constitute an axis of evil, arming to threaten the peace of the world.
What's happening now echoing a past that started more than 70 years ago and has never really stopped.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.